Chimpanzees. Okay, average chimpanzee is around 75 pounds, half your size, 10 times stronger than the average human. Could literally, easily rip your face off. They do it sometimes. Okay, people make the mistake of thinking they make good house pets. Not a good idea. They're incredibly powerful. What do they live on? Over 96% of their calories come from fruit. Okay? Protein, it's nonsense. It's a myth. It's a myth. Just briefly, because again, we just talked about this. Who would want you to believe you need to eat a lot of protein?
Industries.
Yeah, meat and dairy industries, which are enormous industries. They've brainwashed us into believing we need a lot of protein. Here's a simple fact. The more protein you eat, the faster you age and die. The strongest animals on the planet do not eat animal products.
I've been vegan for a long time.
My point is, they're not animals eating high protein diets.
But they eat seeds and nuts if they can grab it, right?
No, they get most of their calories from fruit.
The calories, yeah.
Well, if they're getting most of their calories from fruit, they're not eating very many nuts and seeds, which are way more calorically dense.
My last question to this: if you break down muscle tissue, it needs to be built up, right? It's a fact. If it breaks down, you need to build new muscle tissue.
Okay.
To repair it. That's heavy lifting.
I don't say you need to. That's what happens.
Yeah, that's what's happened. Yeah.
Right.
In that case, what would you recommend to eat?
Okay, let me be as clear as possible for the time being, because we'll come back to this later on. I don't want you to worry about this. I don't want you to really think about this while you're fasting. Okay, I've encouraged you not to. But this is something you never need to think about. Every species has a natural diet, and every species thrives eating that natural diet. Our natural diet is fruit and soft, tender leaves. That's all you need to eat. There's nothing else that you need. Okay, you never have to think about protein. It's a non-issue. You've got this idea that it's an issue because you've been brainwashed to believe that, but it's not.
No, that's not why I'm asking, because I know breaking down muscle tissue, you have to repair it.
But of course it's why you're asking. We've all been led to believe we have to worry about protein. What if you never ever thought about, what if nobody ever talked about protein? Would you be asking the question?
I only come with my own experience. If I don't eat anything after working out, I have a lot of pain in my muscles. It's just a lot of pain. 2 days, 3 days.
I don't think there's any relationship between one thing and the other. The pain in your muscles is from the buildup of lactic acid, and eating protein doesn't take that away. I don't think one thing has anything with the other thing. Okay?
It helps eating. I can say that.
Sorry?
It helps eating. It helps eating.
I'm not sure why it would. I don't think one thing has anything to do with the other. Okay? Your body is going to rebuild that muscle after you break it down.
But with what?
One point is, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
You don't have to think about it. You need to eat the food that our bodies were intended for. That's it. I mean, think about this. Do you think after an elephant pulls a tree out for whatever reason, it says, let's see now, I better go find this particular thing. It eats whatever it eats. Okay? It's not something you ever need to worry about. Ever. What I eat after working out, immediately after working out, is nothing. I work out every morning. I eat at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, usually watermelon or papaya. High protein? No. 2%? Less? It's not a big deal. It doesn't mean anything. It's a non-issue. It's a non-issue. It's like if you were asking me, well, how do we keep the floor down? We don't have to think about this. It's nothing you ever need to think about again. Okay?
Loren,
You should eat, hang on, please. You should eat when you're hungry. If you're hungry when you're done working out, feel free to eat. If you're not hungry, don't eat. Don't eat because you think you should. Because you know you have to rebuild this, therefore you should eat now. Don't do that. Your body will tell you when it needs food. That's the only time you need to eat. Okay? Your body will tell you when it's had enough food. That's when you should stop eating. You do not need to figure out how much protein you need, ever. It is a non-issue. Now, one caveat. If you want to build an unnaturally large body, you want to be a bodybuilder and create way more muscle mass than is healthy to carry, then you're going to need to do some unnatural things. But that's not a healthy body. Okay, if you want to create a healthy body, a strong, healthy body, you don't need to do that. You don't ever have to think about it. Okay? Does this make sense?
I hear what you're saying. In my mind, it doesn't make sense.
Why not?
Because if I do very much heavy lifting, okay, maybe be far beyond what I should be lifting, it will break down large.
Your muscles definitely breaking down. We're not arguing about that. And your muscles definitely going to rebuild. That's going to happen. And it's going to happen if you eat watermelon or salad or an apple. It doesn't matter.
There's enough to...
That's what I'm trying to tell you. You never have to think about protein. You've been brainwashed like everybody else here. Okay? I really didn't want to get into this because we just covered it. So a lot of people have just heard this last week. You tripled in size consuming breast milk, I hope. Breast milk? Yeah?
I didn't get any when I was...
Okay, but most of us triple in size in the first year of life, getting 2% of our calories from protein. 2%. Okay, most adults get 20 to 30% of their calories from protein. It's completely unnecessary. It just causes disease and makes you age and die faster. There is no relationship between eating high protein foods and building more muscle. You don't need to do that. We need a tiny amount of muscle. You have to get enough calories. How do you know when you've had enough? How do you know when you've had enough calories, Gazelle? I'm talking to Gazelle. I'm sorry? Exactly. Your body says, that's all the food I need. Okay? Why am I asking Gazelle and not Daniel? Because you're eating and because you fasted. Because most people are not in touch with that. Most people don't know when to stop. So I can't trust that you know when to stop because you haven't done this yet. You're doing it now. When your body's clean, you'll get clear messages when to stop. Okay? So I don't have a big, I don't have a giant body. I'm not interested in that. I have a tiny frame, but I'm pretty strong. I've got more muscle mass than almost any guy here, even though I'm lighter than most people. Okay? I maintain that eating about 1,200 calories a day. That's it. Mostly fruit. Okay? Yeah.